All right, today we're going to go over drawing a Rambler in two-point perspective from start to finish. We're going to start with a line, horizontal line that goes across the paper on or about the bottom third. I'm going to add 2 points at the bottom. These will be our vanishing points. Then go ahead and put a vertical line. That will be the closest part of the Rambler to the viewer. From here, we will go back. I won't draw these lines all the way back, so I won't have to erase as much. Draw them back. That'll be one wall. And this will be the front of the Rambler. We'll add the garage here in a moment. Vertical line. Vertical line. So we got our first form made. I want to put a peak. To find the center, we will cross. Showing where the center of our box is. It's going to appear to be a little farther back because the segments get smaller the farther we get away. And I will put a vertical line for the peak. We'll close our peak in by connecting the corners of the box. And we'll put a line from that peak down, and that'll be our roof line. So I'm going to add a little extra at this point because I want to put an overhang, and I don't want to do a lot of erasing. So I'm going to copy this angle and add that overhang in. Could actually drop this down a little bit as well and create an overhang on the house. Remember, we need to keep this point though when we draw the second part of our house and add that garage. So now we have an overhang and on the side and on the bottom. You can also add that overhang to the back side of the house by copying the angle on the back side. And then we'll finish that line going to the vanishing point on the back side of the paper. Okay. Now we're going to draw the garage portion. So through that original front house corner, going up through the left side vanishing point, and same on the bottom. So this should appear to get a little larger. Vertical line, close that in. Front part of the garage. This can be as big or small as you'd like it. And we'll put a vertical line to close that in as well. Again, find the wall side center by making a cross and a vertical line. Connect those corners to give us our roof line angle, and then go ahead and go to the vanishing point. Now I'm going to go a little farther again to add an overhang. Copy that angle and go back to where it meets the front wall. We've pretty much got our structure boxed in. Copy that angle again for the over. And close it up. So back side, you can see the inside of the roof. This will be the front side and the top side of the roof. Okay? Draw a little bit of a line to divide the two roofs. And we'll then add a foundation on the house side. This could be any height that you like. We will not put a foundation on the garage side because that's going to come right out onto the ground surface. I'll put bricks on the front. And when you do bricks, make sure the ones that are closest to you are larger than the ones farther away. These lines should be vertical. I'm not doing the center one because I'm going to split those to make it look realistic. And we'll just split those down. If you need to use your ruler for this, that's great. If not, it's okay to put these details in by hand. These are all vertical lines. And they get smaller as we go away. Okay? I'm not going to put it on this side because I'm going to come back and put some vegetation here, and just less I'll have to erase. Next, I'm going to put my roof lines on, and I'm going to space them out evenly. Go back to our vanishing point. End at the line that divides the two roof sides. You don't have to do any extra erasing. On a real roof, there'd probably be more shingle tabs, but I wouldn't put too much in here because it's going to get really busy. So then the opposite side roof, we're going to copy at these points, work off of the opposite vanishing point, and get our roof lines and shingles to run in the same manner. So those should line up pretty close. We'll make our shingle tabs by going in the same, using this angle, matching it. And again, I'm going to go every other one to give it that shingle look. Making things a little bit smaller as we go away. Okay, so all these lines match this angle. This side will do the same. We're going to match this angle. And I'm going to skip. And we'll finish this up. Okay, sort of like that. All right. Siding will be next. Excuse me, we're going to do doors and windows, then we'll do siding so we don't have any erasing to do. And we'll start with a front door. I'm going to do 2 vertical lines. And we'll put the top of the door to the vanishing point. We'll be able to see this inside corner of this door. So I'm going to use the vanishing point on the opposite side. And I'll put a little scratch coming in. So we kind of have a see where that mark is, and we'll run this back to the vanishing point on the top and on the bottom, because you'll see that door sill. And then we'll connect those 2 points. See the edge of that door. Okay. Put a window on the back side, work off that center point. If you want it centered, we're using a right vanishing point for this one, a left vanishing point for this one, excuse me, and same thing, we'll make that little line coming in from the opposite side vanishing point so we can show a sill. And then the vanishing point on the side to put the bottom of that window and the top. We'll do 2 windows on the front of the house. Start with a vertical, and end on this end, and the windows, I want them to appear to be the same size, so I'm going to have the second one look smaller and use my first window to do the top and the bottom. Erase our extra lines. Again, we're going to see these inside edges. Use that vanishing point to establish that indent. Hardly see it on that side. Bottoms and the top. Like so. Okay. Put a door on the garage. It can be just like the other door was drawn. We'll use the opposite side vanishing point. On this one, go back to draw that inside of the door that we'll see. The bottom and the top. Doorknob there. For the garage, just going to put a standard garage door. Note a lot more space than there is back here, the way it appears. And there's a garage door. I'll divide that into 3 sections. Try to make it look as realistic as possible. That's our 3-panel garage door. And the center is back here, so that's where a little handle will be. Okay, next we'll put siding, and I'm going to evenly space some siding marks that I'll use going across the entire house. I'll go to the junction point and I'll use that spot to go the other direction. You could put thinner siding or thicker siding. It's totally up to you. So now I'll come to this side and I'll use these same points so they match, but I'll go to the opposite vanishing point to make it work for that wall. So if we continue up the side of the house, look like that. Should erase that line. So you have all matching siding. On the garage side, I'm going to continue that siding. Oh, excuse me, went the wrong way. Continue that siding to the left-hand vanishing point. For the siding down into this foundation, just kind of guess. What looks good, and go from there. Now we'll go to this side, and we'll use that same spot again. Make sure you're staying on your points. And on this back, I'm going to do a little different technique just to show you some options. I'm going to follow the roof line and run that siding at an angle. Just a bit of a decorative element, and when you go back, you need to go as tight, and you want to use that angle, same angle as the back side, so it's just going to be a lot steeper. So that's how it looked on the back. Next item is I'm going to add in a stairway to get out of the house, and I'm going to bring the vertical line straight down from the corner of my door. My stairs are going to come out this way, and I'm going to draw a line coming out. That would be the bottom of my steps, and it will also turn into a sidewalk going out. So we first have to make a landing coming off the front, vanishing point on this side. Then we'll close that in for our landing. Vertical line coming down. Close that off with the opposite side, vanishing point. Now drawing a step, and we just complete our first step. Again, vertical lines down. We want to make these as consistent as possible. And you'll just keep repeating until you find yourself on the ground. So I'm just going to go down. Our last step's going to be a little bigger. Like so. Then we'll bring our sidewalk out. So with that happening, I'll put a line in for the street and a second line to have a curb and a vertical line to show some depth. I'll extend my sidewalk out to there. And now I'm going to put a sidewalk on an approach using my right vanishing point for my garage door, coming back to my left vanishing point to make a small walkway. Then we'll bring this back to the drive. Our driveway again will be based off of vanishing point on the opposite end, and it's going to look like it's almost coming straight off the structure, like so. Next element I want to put in is a chimney. We're going to need 3 vertical lines to build a chimney. The bottom of the chimney will be using the vanishing point on the right. The bottom part on the left side will be using the angle of the roof. Top will use the same, and the bottom will use, or the left side, we'll use the left side vanishing point. Make sure you hold your ruler still. Okay. If you want to put a brick look, you can run lines to the right-hand vanishing point on the front portion. And then the back side will go to the left vanishing point or the left side of the chimney. These are going to look maybe a little strange. But when you see us connect these vertical lines on these like bricks, you'll get a chimney. Now, like I said, I left this spot open, didn't put anything in there. So we will add a bush. And I'm not going to make this a real hard line. I just want to show you, we're going to come straight off from these corners, from the vanishing point on the opposite side, and we're going to build some dimension and come up with a bush for here. Rise is vertical. Use the vanishing point on the left to close that in. Use your right hand vanishing point to bring that bush back to the building. I'm not going to have it actually touching it. And the same with the back side. And then we will run to the vanishing point on the left to close that in. So that gives you a little bit of maybe a hedge or a bush. Okay. We could put a tree element here if you wanted. I'm going to leave that up to you. The assignment calls for a tree. And there's a video I'm going to have you watch to help you draw different types of trees. Add a cloud. Nice soft cloud up above. And then this is where it's nice to have a regular pencil where you can add some shading and soften it up with your finger. It's kind of hard to do that with a mechanical pencil, and probably on the video it's hard to see this. Okay, our light source is going to be coming in from this side, and at this point then you can put some shading underneath the eaves. Underneath this back side of the roof. So on and forth. You can just keep adding your own touches now to make this your finished home or Rambler, if you choose to call it that. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.